Hello students, and welcome to week 2 of our English 102 12-week mini online session. This is Professor Valerie Pell of Harold Washington and Wilbur Wright Colleges. So let's begin. So each week when you come to class, where you want to begin is your activity schedule. That will tell you all the activities you should do, those that are ungraded like readings and such, and those that are graded. So let us start here. We can start here in the content browser to get quickly to it, or you can go up to content and access it that way. Okay, so when we access the activity schedule, remember the different key. The key is at the top of the different abbreviations that I'm using here. And then this is the week number, this is the dates for the week, and then we have the list of things that I want you to do. Okay, the first thing, you're already doing it, you're watching the video. And the next thing I want you to do is go to the Brightspace Assessments and Grades and review your grades and feedback from the previous week. So let's take a look real quick at how to do that. So when we come back to Brightspace, if we go to the assessments and then we go to the grades area, you'll notice your grades. So this is how, if you wanted to try to resubmit, you could do that. Here's the guidelines for that assignment. Here are the points that you received. Here's the general feedback, and then that you can, for the assignment, you can view inline feedback. So if you click on that, you'll notice here again is the overview feedback, which usually I just tell you where to look for your feedback. And then you'll see the rubric is here. With a rubric, there's always feedback within the rubric criterion, so you want to check that for your feedback. And then if you scroll all the way down, then you'll see that there is Turnitin grade mark feedback and regular inline feedback. So sometimes there will be both, sometimes there will be one or the other. So if you want to check out the Turnitin, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so you'll see there's a couple of comment bubbles here. Sometimes there will be a rubric attached and you would see that. Sometimes there will be text comments in here as well. It will look something like this. Now, then you might see the regular inline feedback. That's what it looks like in Brightspace's Assignment Studio, where you'll see some of my scribbles. It's not quite as advanced as Turnitin, but you'll see some comments here as well. So when we're done checking out that feedback, that was for the assignments. Let's come back here to grades to see any other assignments. If you want to see your feedback on the discussion, you can click on View Graded Rubric. Again, I put the feedback for the discussions in the criterion, so check that out. That's where your feedback goes. And the quiz, I think you have to go directly to the quiz if you want to see, right after you take the quiz, it'll tell you which ones you got wrong. And then here is the score. Okay, so we've finished that activity. Then the next activity I want you to do is to go to the readings area, the week 2 Food Matters readings, in the readings folder of content, and read at least one selection that totals 15 pages. So what you do for that is you come over here back to content, and you come down here to the readings folder, and you'll notice there's 2 modules under readings, and the first one says week 2 Food Matters readings. Okay, so you will scroll through here. You can check out some of these different readings. If you see the load more button, click on that, scroll down for some more. And I want you to scroll through these, pick something out that seems interesting to you to read for this week. Okay? And you will be using that for something else this week as well. And it also will be contributing to sort of your beginning research for your research paper. You're already starting to do your work towards your research paper. I'm just curating the first few things that you look at with the film from last week and with these readings to sort of get you started. And then you can go to the Little Seagull Handbook and read W7, all about arguments. And then back in the readings folder, there's 3 selections in the regular readings folder. So we were just in the week 2. Now we're going to go to the regular readings. And you'll notice again that these are alphabetized, and you are to read the 12 tests of an arguable issue, the common knowledge handout, and then some particular pages in the Jeffrey. Okay, and then you're going to watch a film, the Searching Databases playlist in YouTube. And that's really going to help you be able to jumpstart your assignment 2, which you will look at in just a minute. And then also I want you to watch this persuasive argument lecture on YouTube. That's really going to give you an overview of sort of the paper that you're going to be writing between now and the end of the semester. And then you're going to read around 2 new research sources. It might be 1, it might be 3. It's really up to you. Okay, so those are the things that you do to prepare to do your assignments, the things that are actually graded. So let's look at those now. The assignment number 2. This is the guidelines, and within the guidelines there's a couple of things, hyperlinks to direct you to some other items that you need. And you'll see here it says watch the Searching Databases playlist. Look, that was already on your activity schedule. It's here again because that's what I want you to do. And then you're going to do the research activity 1, the Boolean search methods. And you're going to do this activity twice. It's going to help you with the next activity. So once you learn about the Boolean operators and what that means in terms of your work, you're going to fill out this sheet. Now you can download this into Microsoft Word and type it in, or if you feel like downloading and printing it and writing it by hand and then just scanning it or taking an image of it to upload for your homework, I'm okay with either one. So you're going to describe what you are interested in researching in a sentence, and then you're going to pull out different concepts from that. And then you're going to write those concepts in these boxes, and then you're going to use these Boolean operators and eventually come up with a search term or phrase to search in the library databases. And there's an example here. Okay, so you're going to do this twice. And the reason you're going to do this twice is because you need 2 of those search phrases for the next worksheet. Okay, so the next worksheet is here. Again, you can download and fill in by hand, or download and type in Microsoft Word. And you'll see the first box is what are the topics you use from the first worksheet. So you will use the first topic and you'll do a search in the catalog and then see all of the resources here as you move through it. Okay, and then you'll do the same thing for the second. Okay, and notice that it does move on to the next page. Okay, and then when you are done with that and you want to submit it, you will come back over to content, and you can come to assignments, and then you would click on to A2 to research activities. And scroll down. You always want to scroll down to upload your work. So click on upload, and then choose all the files that belong to that, and then click choose, and that will upload those for you. So make sure, if you probably should have 3 documents you need to upload, so choose all 3. Okay, and then you'll be done with that assignment. The next thing is your discussion number 2. Let's take a look at that. Discussion for week 2. Okay, you are going to generate 2 food-related topics. Look at that. You already just did that in your assignment number 2. See how all these link together? Isn't that amazing? Everything in this class builds from one thing to the next, so keep that in mind. Everything has a purpose in this class. Nothing I'm giving you is just busy work. It's all helping lead to your final paper, and I'm giving it to you in little steps. Okay, so for your main post, remember, label your post, your main post, and then number your answers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then answer the question. So do number 1, answer the question. What's the food-related research topic that or issue that you explored? Why'd you choose that? Why might you want to explore it? So have it be something that you're interested in. And then I want you to do an analysis using the 12 tests of an arguable issue if it is an arguable topic. And do that again with the second topic. And then when you go to respond to your peers, you will have a 4-part response for your peers. And your response, you'll address your peers by name, and then you will list your answers A through D accordingly. And please label your answers A, B, C, D. Okay? And then you will evaluate 1 topic for 2 different peers. Okay, so you don't need to evaluate both of your peers' topic. Choose the one that you think is the most interesting or most compelling for you. Okay, and discussions have the 72-hour. Okay, so let's come back over here to the discussions. You can get to the discussions 1 by clicking here in content and clicking on the discussion topic. And then click start a new thread, and then you can copy and paste your discussion thread into there, because I highly recommend using Microsoft Word. Or you can come up here to the discussions in assessments and scroll down and click on it here and click start a new thread. Okay, the next thing that we have is our peer mark, our first peer mark assignment for the semester. So let's take a look at those guidelines. So the thing about peer mark is that peer mark is where we are going to be doing peer workshops on your work. So you will be submitting work, and then the following week you'll come back to the peer mark assignment to give feedback to your peers, and they'll give feedback to you. And with some peer mark assignments, you'll be looking at your own work and reflecting on how well you've met certain benchmarks. So with the annotated works cited, or the annotated bibliography that we're going to be doing, this is an activity we're going to be doing between weeks 2 and week 6. And between weeks 2 and 5, you are going to be doing your research. That's where you're going to be doing the bulk of your research over the course of the semester. Each week, I'm asking you to research, read, and evaluate 3 to 5 sources on your own, doing your own research. And then at the end of week 6, you're going to compile all of those sources together into a final draft of your annotated works cited or annotated bibliography. And we're doing this because in general, writers need to encounter and read at least twice as many sources as they intend to integrate into their papers. So if you want to be an expert, you need to do a lot of research. So that means between now and week 6, you should be reading and researching between 14 and 24 sources. So that's about 3 to 5 sources a week. Now, because we have this time frame, some weeks maybe you'll only have 2, and the next week you'll have more time and you'll have 5. It's okay if it's like that. Your overall, what matters is the higher stakes assignment in week 6. But if you totally blow this off for 4 weeks, it's going to be a big problem because you can't find 14 sources in one weekend. I'm trying to teach you how to do the research a little bit at a time, and it's going to help you learn about your sources. Now, another thing that's really great about an annotated bibliography or annotated works cited is it helps you keep track of your sources so that you remember what source said what. Okay, so essentially it's like a works cited page with a summary of the source. Okay, ours is going to be a little bit different because I'm using this activity to help you learn how to create a good works cited page. Okay, so that's just getting started. Now, using the topics that you generated from other activities. See, we're going back to the other assignments for this week, the other activities. Find and read or listen to or view 3 to 5 sources for this week. Now, this can include the film that you watched in week 1, and it can also include the week 2 reading assignment. So, but I do want you to find at least one source on your own and read that from your research. Now, your final paper is going to need sources from various categories. You're going to need at least one print book, one peer-reviewed journal article, at least one online source, and at least one other media like a podcast or a film, and then any other sources. So as you're doing your research over the course of the next while, make sure that you're looking for sources from different media categories. Okay, so your entries are going to be like this. You're going, before you give your works cited entry, you're going to label the type of source and what example you used from the Little Seagull Handbook. And then I want you to use your handbook to create a works cited entry for that source. Now, please do not use any citations shortcuts like in Microsoft Word, their bibliography creator, or an online citation wizard. They're almost always wrong, and they have common tweaks and problems with them that make me know that you're not actually creating it on your own. I'm trying to teach you here how to do this, right? It's actually a skill. It's sort of like cooking. If you use imagine you were going to a dinner party, right? And you were supposed to bring something. Like the point of the dinner party is that everybody cooks. Well, if you go to Whole Foods and take something from their deli and put it into a fancy dish and say, "Oh yes, I cooked this," you're cheating, right? You did not actually do your job for that dinner party. So what the handbook, your Little Seagull Handbook is your cookbook. You have to learn how to follow the recipe, and that's what we're going to be doing over the next 4 weeks. This is why I don't want you to use the citation wizards. Okay, so you're going to tell me what kind of source it is. You're going to give me the works cited entry, and then after that, you're going to give me a short summary in your own words of that source. This is really for you to help you remember later. Okay? These peer mark assignments, they're accepted up to 72 hours late without any penalty, but I don't accept them after that at all because you literally can't put them into Brightspace after that because everything is set up time-stamped, and there's no ways to get around those because it's a machine and it's not very flexible. So here's a partial example from Mariah Carey. Remember, this is just one example, and you need at least 3. You're shooting for 3 each week. So you'll notice it's set up according to the mandatory paper formatting guides for the class. Last name, page number, student information, her name, the date, the course with the section, make sure you put the section number, and then the title of the assignment, peer mark number 2. And then you'll notice she labeled her first source. She's saying it's an online source. She looked up Little Seagull Handbook number 31, page 151. And then she's giving the works cited entry. Notice she has the hanging indent. And then she's giving the short summary of it. Now, when she's done with that, when you're done with your you'll word process this, you'll save it, and then to submit it, you have to come over to content. While your other activities can be submitted elsewhere through the assessments tab, the peer mark activities must be submitted through content. That's the only place they exist. So come back to here, And then we're going to click on peer mark number 2. And it's, see the little guy? He's like, nothing's here yet. Now we're going to upload the submission. We're going to choose title, choose the file. I'm going to click choose, and then I'm going to click upload and review. So this peer mark is working through Turnitin. Some of you have used Turnitin before, and it'll give you a little preview here so you can make sure it's the right thing. It looks like it. I'm going to submit it to Turnitin, and the submission's complete. Okay, so now Wilbur's paper is there. Okay, so Wilbur's done with that for this week. All right, so let's go back to the activity schedule. And the last thing to do is the week 2 quiz. So we can come back here to content to get to quizzes. And click on the week 2 quiz. Or we can come up here and go to the week 2 quiz. Either way, and click on it. Okay. And then if you're behind, these are the things that you can still do by Tuesday at 11:59. So that's it for our week 2 overview. And this is Professor Pell. If you need anything, feel free to contact me via email. I'm here to help as best I can. Have a wonderful day.